All right, let's get right into it. We're breaking down a really critical security alert from Fortinet, and it's all about their FortiSIEM product. Now, if you use FortiSIEM, you know it's basically the central hub for your security operations, watching over everything. So yeah, you're going to want to listen up, because this one is urgent.
Okay, let's start with the most important number on the screen. This thing has been scored a 9.8 out of 10. For anyone who doesn't live and breathe this stuff, anything over a 9 is considered critical. A 9.8? That's about as bad as it gets. The potential for damage here is just massive.
So what is this threat that gets such a scary high score? It's officially tracked as CVE-2025-64155. That's just its unique name in the big global database of vulnerabilities. But let's dig into what actually makes it so incredibly dangerous.
At its heart, the problem is something called an OS command injection. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine a stranger can just walk up to your mail slot, shout a command, and your entire home security system just obeys it. No questions asked. That's what this is. It's a direct line for an attacker to the core of your system.
Now, this is the part that should really make you sit up straight. See that first point, unauthenticated? That means an attacker doesn't need a username. They don't need a password. They need absolutely zero credentials. All they have to do is send a specially made request over the network. That's it. It makes this a wide open and, frankly, terrifying threat.
So let's connect the dots here. Why is this a 9.8? Well, it all comes down to that last bullet point we just saw. Execute arbitrary code. Let's talk about what that phrase really means for you and your organization.
And here it is, straight from the horse's mouth, Fortinet's own advisory. When they say an attacker can execute arbitrary code or commands, that's the polite, technical way of saying they can achieve a complete and total takeover of your system. They own it. They can make it do anything they want.
And look at how shockingly simple the path is. There aren't a dozen complex steps here. The attacker sends one bad request, the system gets tricked, it runs the attacker's commands, and boom, game over. Your system is completely compromised, just like that.
Okay, enough of the doom and gloom. Let's get practical. How do you know if your systems are actually at risk? Well, it's time to go check those version numbers. All right, take a good, hard look at this table. Seriously, pause if you need to. Scan through this list. If your system is running any of these versions, and you can see it goes all the way back to the 6.7 series, then you are vulnerable, period. You need to take action right away.
Now we've reached the most important part of this whole explainer. You know the risk, you've checked your version, so what do you do now? Let's walk through the exact steps you need to take to protect your network.
You've basically got two options here. On the left is the real fix, the permanent solution, and it's what everyone should be aiming for. Update your systems. For most of you, that just means patching. If you're on those older 7.0 or 6.7 versions, you've got to migrate. Now on the right is the temporary band-aid, the workaround. You can use it if you absolutely can't patch right this second, but let me be crystal clear. It only reduces the risk. It does not get rid of it.
So if you're stuck using that workaround for a bit, here are the 3 key things your network team needs to go do immediately. First, use your firewall to lock down access to that server. Second, and this is the really specific one, you have to block or seriously limit access to something called the FortiSIEM monitor service, which runs on TCP port 7900. And finally, just as a general best practice, make sure only your trusted admin networks can talk to these services in the first place.
Now, if you're still thinking, I'll get to it next week, I need you to understand this. The exploit code, the actual tools someone can use to run this attack, is public. It's out there on the internet for anyone to find and use. This isn't a theoretical threat anymore. It's happening right now. So let's just boil it all down to this. Failing to act on this is like leaving your company's digital front door not just unlocked, but wide open. And now that the exploit is public, it's like a map to your open door has been posted all over the internet for everyone to see. The only question left is, are you going to go and lock it?